Hello there, and welcome back to episode 11 of my Exotic Industries playthrough for Factorio. I've been quite busy, so I was very unhappy at the end of the last episode because, I just have built this wonderful little facility for robots when I suddenly realized that my personal roboport had no juice. And for personal Robopod juice, we require solar panels. And, it's been quite a long journey that all culminated in semiconductor wafers. Problem is, you can't have a semiconductor wafer without gold, and gold was only to be found here. So I did this all off camera because it was all very small scale, and I decided to illustrate it in hindsight. So here I have set up my first deep drill, my friends. So the deep drill is quite simple. You set it up on those chunks, deposits, and there's some drill fluid piped in. We produced that drill fluid on the last episode, and as you see here, I went with the brute force method to just pipe that stuff underground all the way over there. Here we're producing some of that. So that gold I have manufactured locally into washed gold or pure gold in the in the purifier. This is something you can only do with deep chunks, but basically it results in I think it's 33% or 50% more yield. And then we made some ingots out of that and crushed those ingots into dust. And those dust piles we were carrying over here. So those dust piles we wanted to turn into wafers. So here, crushed gold plus sand plus hydrofluoric acid. Yeah, here goes hydrofluoric acid. So to create hydrofluoric acid, we need to toss some fluoride, water, and sulfuric acid into a chemical factory, and we yield the acid and acidic water. Fluoride is being created out of dirty water. Dirty water is a side product from deep mining, and you can also create dirty water yourself by just tossing some sand into water. Yeah, it's really like that. And that's what we're doing here. So we're creating dirty water and we're extracting fluoride out of that to create afterwards this stuff here. Whoa, you guys should better stop. And this stuff you can then chuck here into the facility. Then you get these wafers out. Sometimes you get a faulty wafer out. These faulty wafers can be crushed back into sand. So yeah, I have brought up this very small scale facility because, I was tired of not having robots available, and here now that's what we got. I mean, during all this time, I could have opted into nanobots. I have that mod installed, but I was playing with these so much that I felt like let's do it once without. And yeah, I got exoskeleton, so watch me run super fast now. And we got personal roboport, some batteries, and a crap ton of portable solar panels. These are only the Mark 1 version. We can already build the Tier 2 version, which will require a even more goldified solar panel in a nutshell. But we would get like 125% increase in power output. So yeah, I'm totally considering that. In the meantime, I was sciencing out whatever I was able to, and I got big plans ahead. So this episode is probably going to be a lot shorter than the last ones because, I'm going to summarize here a lot of the background work that I was doing because it's been quite a chore. I've been not only ironing out little problems here, for example, like bringing up enough insulated wire for the red circuitry here, and there have been small problems like here at the solid fuel factory. I was lacking some burners. There was some backup here in these. And I've installed a new battery of steam power because it felt like we were running low globally on power. And I really want to point out how much I love in exotic industries the fact that you can create solid fuels so darned easily out of oil. And basically I have a backbone of an endless fuel supply for my steam engines. I love that. This gives me such a great feeling. In vanilla Factorio, you're relying usually early on coal fields, and basically if the coal field runs out, you're in big trouble. Here this won't happen. And speaking about which, I recently discovered this little beauty here, the industrial combustion turbine. It consumes 8 megawatt of fuel and churns out 10 megawatt of power. That's pretty cool considering that we're currently producing 72 megawatt with like 80 steam engines and 40 boilers. These things are quite efficient. I've already pre-produced a couple of them, and they look like this. Look at that. Isn't that badass? That's some machinery, eh? So I'm not quite sure where I'm going to bring these into deployment, but I want to bring up some power generation via these as an interim method until we have nuclear fission up and running. Because currently, I really don't know. We need to create fission knowledge before we can actually create a nuclear reactor, and nuclear fuel works also a lot different here. You see, you need U-35 and U-38 and lead plates. I feel like these industrial combustion turbines are exactly what I want to have as a transition between these. So, really, can only recommend. It's a bit of a dirty recipe here, but I'm not feeling any pain here anymore. I also brought up a little bit of an ammo factory because we need to bring away some biters, because I finally have made my expansionistic plans. So hear me out. I was intentionally not zooming out further because I've been busy, like I said. So here, this little deposit will be used for the sake of the mall. I just haven't found any time yet to pipe it over to this area here. But I've been also exploring a lot, you see. And yeah, I've been installing some radar panels. It was a lot easier with those exoskeletons because we were running that much faster. And I was looking for more gold first and foremost because that was just not enough, and gold is quite important in the long run. So I was looking for it. I didn't really find anything in this direction, but over here I finally found an area that really pleased me. Not only does it team with biters, we can try out all the different weapons here, but I also found one gold deposit and another one over here. So we're set up for the time being. I don't know how far we'll need to take it, but this will provide for a while. So this area here will remain the mall as we know it. And, well, I think probably we will need to pipe in some new materials, but I think those 1.5 million copper and iron should bring us somewhere. I have a good feeling about that, honestly. So here's the deal. The next step that I want to undertake is I want to amp up my science production because currently I checked it out lately. Look at this. This is the rate of science of this factory currently. I made it quite far with that crap, but it's time to grow out of that. I'm okay with that. I was very busy, and I'm very happy that I built up the backbone that I did. And the plan is going to be now to build up the science base right here. This area here is looking really good for me. Not only does it have almost no natural resources here, it's basically a no man's land here inside. We can also bring up lots of landfill just as we need it and create more territory for crafting's sake if we need to. Really cool stuff. And we got iron very close. We got copper very close. Here's some too. So that means the lab factory will be provided with materials that I don't need to bring in via train early on. which I actually expected at this point of the game, but whatever, I don't want to mutter. And later down the road, we will import the resources we require from the northern regions or from the eastern regions here and pipe that stuff in via train, either from the north-south axis here, could be also a nice bus to supply stuff for the mall in the future. I'm considering this axis here because it really lies strategically very well strategically, and this area here is very mineral rich too. As you see here, we have very rich fields, and we also can now access these subterranean chunks. It's a new stuff that we can use too. So there's much, practically everything I need to I need for the future here. There's even some neodyme and some lead around, and we even got sulfur. The only thing we are a little bit low on is uranium. I only have this one patch here, but probably 1.3 million will be enough. I don't know. The next one I found was over here, but that's totally a different direction. Also very, very positive about the plan that I made up. I have found another oil field here. That means we can set up a oil supply for this factory also here around. So I've been this is the result of like I think 3 hours of playing now, that all the summary. But I'm super happy, I finally found a spot that's practically surrounded by all the strategical resources that we require, and it provides the playing field that I need. Especially when I consider using landfill here, this is a lot larger than it looks on the first glance. I think this will get us somewhere. Now then, but I'm not done here. I have also made up plans already for the science, The new factory should provide all the new stuff, all the stuff that we are currently using, but also the opportunity to create more of the new stuff that we're currently working towards to. By the way, very, very close to, We only have, I think, one more technology ahead of us until we unlock those nice yellow thingies. We're close to the computer age. Nice, isn't it? So, here's what I thought. I was juggling around with the numbers here a lot, and I have decided to go for an output of 5 signs per second. So that will be like the biggest thing that I ever built. That will be, if I'm not mistaken, like that's 600 signs per minute, I think. It's late. It's very late here, so forgive me if I'm calculating wrong. But yeah, I'm a pretty bloody noob when it comes down to Mega Factory building, so I wanted to keep it compact enough that my tiny peanut brain can still get it into a successful status. And at the same time, I wanted to have a serious improvement and a challenge. Also, I figured, the numbers here, we are already at 1k science packs per tech, And we are, I don't know, it looks as if we are currently not even really truly at the 50 percent mark. So I I am a little bit like I was very, very much inclined to go for 10 signs per second, but then I realized when I checked out the that's the computer age science pack, so the one ahead, when I went for the numbers here. So for example, the energy crystals for that, well, you know, we would need to bring up 57 of these guys. It's not that. It's not as if it would be impossible or anything, but I think it would be wiser to keep it on a level that's fulfillable with my current tools, because we will get a lot more. We will get a lot of better toys on our way down the road, and I actually see it absolutely possible that I will overhaul the sectors of these signs here in the future, and we'll just like double up the production because we need to, and we can, because we got beacons and modules, and I don't know what we can still bring up here in the mod pack that I don't know of. So I bet that we got plenty of options. Okay, so where does this leave us? I still have a lot of work ahead of me, and most importantly, it's really the boring work, you know? We need to set up now mining outposts and smelting outposts. And oh boy, this is by far the most repetitive thing that Factorio has in store. So I figured that I'd I wanted to record this episode as a little bit of a lock in between so you guys can see what is happening here. Because, I plan to bring up the infrastructure for that stuff in between off camera. Because, nobody wants to see me like 30 minutes of setting up mining outposts. I think it will be pretty cool to show what I built up after I did, but the process to get there is really repetitive and boring in my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think. So, in a nutshell, that's where we are at. I also brought up here this luxurious little strip of brick and concrete. So this actually is really useful, You get yourself, you can walk really fast from A to B. That's pretty cool in times before you have trains. In the future, I hope to be able to soar across that stuff with my train line, but one thing at a time. Alrighty, my friends, so we're going to end the episode actually here, because I figured that this is the point where I need to get on over here and pack out my mining machines and start working. We have a pretty high hunger, you know, for everything, but I think it ain't that terrible. Currently, I think this pod here will be one of the most hungry things. So, all in all, I think though this is doable with like an hour of preparation. Think the whole lab infrastructure I could prepare in 2 hours, because it's like I got robots now. This is the big difference, so I can do this, and this will make me a lot faster than before in setting up these grids that I have up ahead of me. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I hope you guys don't mind that this episode was a lot shorter. Like I said in the last one, I'd rather keep up a steady pace of episodes and keep you guys posted about the things in between, rather than having a really big gap of progression between this episode and the last one. And the flow of the series, I think, is benefiting from that a lot. Like I said, let me know in the comment section how you see this. Next episode, I will have the backbone prepared, and we're going to start building up the new lab. That's what I have planned, and yeah, let's see what will happen in between. And therefore, thanks for watching it again. Leave me a thumbs up on that video. I really, really appreciate you watching, your support, your attention. It's really cool. Factorio is one of those games where I really can say it's a passion project, and it's really, really cool to have people around who share that passion. Enough about that. Check out the playlist link down there if you want to see the entirety of the series, and have a good one. See you soon. Bye-bye.